One of the best things that Dragon Ball Super has given us is Toriyama's ever-expanding hierarchy of the gods, and it's really expounded upon the lore of Dragon Ball and really done an incredible amount of world building. And on this video, I want to give you the rundown of the Toriyama Dragon Ball Super God hierarchy so far. Starting at the very top, we have the Omni King, or the King of Everything, or Zeno, whatever you want to call him. And this guy's pretty much at the tippy top of not only the God hierarchy, but also the hierarchy of power. No other character in Dragon Ball possesses anything close to the kind of power this guy has. And now, after the Future Trunks arc, we know there are now 2 Omni Kings in the present. He is the undisputed ruler of all the universes of Dragon Ball, all 12 of them, and at one point there were 16 universes, but the Omni King one day destroyed 4 of them. And even though he may not be a martial artist or have any kind of combat ability, you don't really need any kind of martial arts training when you are the omnipresent god of everything and can destroy entire universes with the blink of an eye. Now, we've actually seen Zeno destroy universes in Dragon Ball Super episode 67, but we've never actually seen him create, and one can presume that if he has the ability to destroy universes, he also should have the ability to create them. Obviously, within each universe, you've got the gods of creation, the Kaioshin, doing that for planets and stars and things like that, but the actual universal plane has to have been created by the Omni King. It's the only thing that makes any sense, even though we've never actually seen him do it. A lot of fans have wondered if maybe now that there are 2 Omni Kings, if we're going to see a struggle of power. That remains to be seen. Now, right below the Omni King, one can presumably place the Omni King's guards. It's never actually stated how strong they actually are, but we do know they take their job very seriously, as they don't want anybody even approaching the Omni King, which again is kind of funny, because if the Omni King can destroy whatever he wants, why does he need guards? He should be able to take out anybody who challenges him. Now, right beneath that, we have the guardian of the House of the Omni King, the Shin Khan, otherwise known as the Great Priest or the Grand Priest. Until Dragon Ball Super says otherwise, he is the tippy top of all the angels, and we recently found out that he is indeed the father of Whis and Vados at the very least. He may have more siblings, but we don't know officially yet if he does. And when the term father is used, it is used in a literal sense, not in the sense of like a priest father. He is actually the father of Whis and Vados, but we still don't know who their mother is, so that may be answered in the future. And again, we also don't know if he has any more children. Depending on whether or not you choose to follow the anime or the manga of Dragon Ball Super differs as far as where you'll rank the Shin Khan. Whis in the anime states that the Shin Khan is one of the 5 strongest fighters in existence, whereas in the manga he says directly that he is the strongest fighter in existence. Obviously, he's not as strong as the Omni King, but as far as combat ability goes, Whis really puts him over. But then again, that is his daddy, so what do you expect? Now, speaking of which, right below the Shin Khan are the angels, and thus far in Dragon Ball Super, we've only been introduced to the Shin Khan's son and daughter, the brother and sister duo of Whis and Vados, who govern over the god of destruction Champa and the god of destruction Beerus, who are also brothers from Universe 6 and 7. Dragon Ball Super tells us that their primary position is to watch over the gods of destruction to ensure that they only destroy what they're supposed to destroy and not accidentally create some kind of chaos in the universe with them getting angry or sleepy or whatever the case may be. Basically, they're there to contain the God of Destruction's power as well as train them in the martial arts. The angels have incredible abilities like energy manipulation. They can create and manipulate matter at will. Plus, of course, there's time reversal, which has proven to be useful at least 2 times in Dragon Ball Super. But like Whis explained in Dragon Ball Super manga chapter 18, they don't get involved in disputes. They're not allowed to fight, but they do train. Maybe someday we will see them fight. I really hope so, because I want to see what they can do in battle. Right below the angels are the gods of destruction, the Hakaishin, and thus far we've only met 2, Beerus and Champa, and their position is to maintain balance in the universe with the gods of creation, the Kaioshin, the Supreme Kai, by destroying planets and stars and things like that, thus allowing the Kais to create new ones and continue the balance of the universe. And unlike the angels, it appears like Lord Beerus and Champa and the gods of destruction seem to be under less jurisdiction. getting into fights not just with each other, but also other gods like Zamasu and of course Goku. Beerus and Champa seem to be free to do whatever they want, as long as they don't take it too far and the angels don't deem it as being overboard, in which they would have to step in to quiet them down. So next on the list is the Supreme Kais, the Kaioshin, and the Makaioshin, which Toriyama only mentioned in an interview years ago, and we've never heard from them again, so we don't even know if we're ever going to see the Makaioshin in Super. But the Kaioshin are born from the Shinjin tree, and they are basically the supreme gods of each universe. They are the gods of creation. They create planets, they create stars, they create solar systems, and they also have access to a number of Kaioshin artifacts like the Potara, the time rings, and whatnot. Now, in the original Dragon Ball manga and Dragon Ball Z anime, we found out that there were originally 5 Kaioshins, led by the Dai Kaioshin, but 4 of them were taken out by Majin Buu, with of course the East Kai remaining, the Supreme Kai that we know of in the Dragon Ball series. Now, it is unclear as to whether or not the other universes follow the exact same hierarchy, because when we go to Universe 10, the only Supreme Kais that we saw in that universe was Gowasu and his apprentice Zamasu. So the question is Gowasu the sole Kaioshin of that universe, or are there other ones that we did not see? We know there has to be a god of destruction in that universe too, and we again have not seen that character yet. So there's still a lot of holes in the god hierarchy that need to be filled, and a lot of questions that need to be answered. Now, right beneath that, we have the Dikaya Sama, or the Grand Kai. Even though he only appears in the anime, Toriyama did design him, and he is referenced in the manga, and thus, no matter how you want to splice up the canon, he does indeed exist. He is the overseer of the Kaiosamas, and then below that is the Kaiosamas King Kai's group, East, North, South, and West. Once again, there are 4 of them, just like with the Supreme Kais, and they each govern one of the 4 quadrants of the universe, in this case, Universe 7. And we also do know that Universe 6 does have Supreme Kais, but we're not sure exactly how many there are in total. Now, the demons of the demon realm are actually not considered gods via the god hierarchy, but I will do a video about them in the future. The last group of gods are the singular planetary gods. For example, on Namek you had Saichoro, the Grand Elder, or Guru in the dub. That was sort of the god of that planet. And then on Earth, of course, we have the child of Katatsu, who would split up into being Piccolo and Kami. Kami, of course, literally translates to God. He is the god of Earth. Later, of course, he would be replaced by Dende, who stands as the god of Earth, and his job is pretty much to govern the Earth and to create Dragon Balls. But obviously, we know that not every planet in the universe has a god. Only some of them do, and I'm not really sure how they're chosen in that aspect or how long it's actually been going on, but that's one of those things where it's a case-by-case situation. Anyways, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something about the gods. And as they keep adding more gods, I'm sure they will, and we'll revisit this in the future. Thank you again for watching the video. If you liked the video, press that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to Geekdom 101 if you have not done that yet. Thank you for your support. As always, I'll talk to you down the road.